Shakespeare is, but have you heard of Emilia Bassano? She was a writer of Shakespeare's era, one of the first English women to publish her own collection of poetry. Her life has been adapted for the stage in the play Amelia, which is currently running at the University of Pittsburgh. Bria Walker is an assistant professor in theater arts at Pitt and the play's director. Bria, welcome to the Confluence.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Bria, tell us briefly who Emilia Bassano was.
Emilia Bassano was a fantastic woman. In 1611, she published a substantial volume of poetry, which was unheard of during that time. And a lot of people speculate about her ethnic heritage, her relationship to Shakespeare. Was she actually the Dark Lady of the Sonnets? Did she actually pen Shakespeare's works? But she was a descendant of court musicians in Queen Elizabeth's court, and was a writer and a prolific writer of her time. And being published as a woman during her time was very much a feat and very rare.
You mentioned, was she the Dark Lady of the Sonnets? Why is that suggested or offered up as a possibility?
There are so many correlations between her work and Shakespeare's work. Nobody knows exactly what her ethnic background was, but people believe she was a mix of North African, Jewish, Italian, and so she was other. She was a woman who identified differently from all of those who were around her. If you look at pictures of her, her hair is very coily, and the picture that we have of her skin is whitened, but that was the fashion of the time. And so there's correlation between the way she looks and then different writings that she has and things that she writes about are very close to what's going on in the Dark Lady Sonnets. And I am not a scholar on Emilia Bassano. That particular niche is pretty expansive. But from what I've looked at, from what she's written, and then when we look at different Shakespearean plays, there's a lot of correlations between the two. So people have, over the past couple of decades, have come to believe she could possibly be the Dark Lady.
The way she looks, what she writes, was she underestimated in her time?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're very much looking at a society that is a patriarchy, and women are looked at as subservient and inferior. And that's very much in the way that women at the time could not publish. So one way around censors at the time was to publish religious texts. So one of the tactics she employed was to write religious texts, but deep down in the religious text, write to women how we can live in the world, how we can be in our marriages, in our relationships, and things like that.
What aspects of her life does the play focus on?
Everything. The play, and I think it's important to point out that the play is not a historical representation of Elizabethan England, that it's a memory, it's a dream, it's not necessarily autobiographical. We're looking at her, we meet her when her father has died, when she's when she's about 7 years old, and it spans her life until she was 76 when she died. So it spans her life, and we're looking at her writing, her getting ready for court, meeting those different people, meeting Shakespeare, meeting Mary Sidney, meeting Lord Henry Carey, who later became Lord Henry of the Lord Chamberlain's men. There's a point in her life when she taught, and she taught people south of the river. And we're looking at this span of time within her life.
You're an organizer of Pitt's Black Lives in Focus. How does Amelia fit into that?
In a beautiful way. The initiative is all about amplifying and showcasing Black lives and Black voices. And I think there's a lot of different ways we can deconstruct this idea of Blackness and what is Black in the diaspora. And so within that, Amelia fits in that, being a woman of the African diaspora, showcasing her life, showcasing the voice that was silenced and tampered down for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's really over the past couple decades that her life really has gotten a platform and it's been able to be told.
Mm-hmm. She was born over 400 years ago. What relevance do you think her life has for a contemporary audience?
I think her life is very empowering. I think it's empowering, especially to those who identify as female. But I think to anyone who has a dream and a passion and are feeling put down, there's lots of barriers, obstacles to what they want to do. And she is very much a testament of fight for what you want, make your voice heard no matter what it is, and especially for those who identify as women and those who identify as women of color.
Mm-hmm. The play runs another week. What do you hope audiences get out of watching Amelia?
Again, empowerment. I want them to feel empowered, and I want them to learn something. I think we learn things best when we're entertained. So I hope you're entertained. I hope you feel empowered, and I hope you learn a little bit.
And it's interesting that somebody born more than 400 years ago can entertain and educate us.
Right? Isn't that fantastic? That's why theater is so beautiful.
Well, what's been the reaction so far?
People love it. They love it. They love it. They love the story. They love how the story is being told, and they love the images.
Bria Walker is an assistant professor in theater arts at Pitt and the director of the play Emilia. Bria, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.